We are back, baby. How's it going, everybody? It's your boy Flopito. This is Wassup, Flobo. Had a bit of a technical difficulty earlier today, so apologize for the fake out stream. I'll delete that when it's all said and done. How is everyone doing? It's bright. It's Tuesday morning. I'm okay. This weekend, I kind of went ham with the streaming and stuff like that. I streamed the Royal Rumble, the WWE Royal Rumble live for 4 hours, and I blew out my voice, so that was kind of fun. And even on Friday, I had a very similar situation. Not so much blowing out my voice, but working with a colleague on a red carpet, seeing both sides of creating video content. Right. So on Friday, I was on the red carpet watching my buddy like make interviews and take photographs and see the flashing lights of Hollywood. And on Sunday, live streaming, live broadcasting, very similar to what we do right here on Wassup Flobo. And I was like, man, I'm really doing it. I'm doing all these things. That's pretty cool. I got to be able to make something great, and hopefully it's things of value. And I got to thinking, a lot of people don't know this. I think I mentioned it before in past episodes, but I am a film school graduate. I went to grad school. I do have a second degree. People are really surprised about that. And I see why on a certain level, because it's very, very expensive. I'm still paying that off. I'll be paying it off forever, which is why I can't recommend anyone going to film school. I get to that in a minute. But also it's kind of like, hey, you don't seem like a guy who's a jerk. Because we all know that guy who got their MFA in creative writing, and they're like, back in my program, we did this, that, and the other thing. And I try really hard not to do that. I don't have a doctorate, but if I ever became a doctorate, if I had a PhD or an ED, I wouldn't be the guy who's like, call me doctor, But it really got me thinking about today's episode. This is Film School Bah Humbug, and why I don't see the point of it. Now, I'm not saying don't get an education. I'm not saying go out there and enrich your lives. In fact, I went to film school for a very specific reason. I was in undergrad in Florida, and I wanted to move out to Los Angeles to see where the industry was, but I didn't have the Spaldings, the nuggets, the cojones to just move to LA and just start. So for me, going to film school in Southern California was kind of like this safety net of, hey, 2 years, or in my case, 3-year program, meet enough people you can. You're still in a school environment. You're still getting that second degree, which is very, very valuable in theory, while you build up your connections and then find a way to roll it out. So that's why I went. But objectively, it's now getting harder to recommend college in general to people. There's been articles written about the lost art of vocational education, and there's ways that you can make lots of good money and provide for your families without going to college. But ultimately, the proof is in the pudding. A lot of my friends are college graduates, right? And this affects a lot of women, first-generation Americans like myself, and minorities like myself as well, where we are threatened with education. It's never like, oh, go out there and be the best person you can be. We're always told, hey, if you don't go to school, you'll be flipping burgers, right? Like it's a bad thing. If you don't go to school, you'll be working as a plumber. You'll be flipping burgers. And so a lot of us, having that fear drilled down into us, decide to go to school, and we're done. And we go, hey, look, we held up our end of the bargain, universe. Why are the only jobs available flipping burgers? I don't want to do that. I stayed at home. I could have partied had I known I would be flipping burgers. And a lot of times that gets misconstrued as being entitled, which in some ways it is, but not in a bad way. It's like we put in the work. Where is my opportunity that is at the level of my education? I am not opposed to working my way up. I'm not asking to be CEO with my bachelor degree from Podunk University, but rather don't tell me that there's no jobs for me at all. I did the extra work, right? Film school is in a weird place, right? Because it's an art school. So in theory, art school is great to learn theory and history and critical thinking, but there's so many self-taught artists, and not even in film. We're talking about music, we're talking about painting, that there is a kind of a plus and minus reasons of going. And ultimately, you are paying, if not 6 figures, very high 5 figures to go to these programs. And if you're like me, you took out student loans to go to grad school, I'm still paying that off. Probably if things stay the same as far as like my income and my trajectory, I'll be paying that off for about 50 or 60 years. I'm not even kidding. They say after 25 years of straight payments, everything gets discharged, but 25 years of payments is still more money than what you took out. You'll be paying with interest, and then they go, okay, we'll hold the rest of the interest. You're fine. So that's like the big thing, the big barrier of saying, okay, how do you recommend anything that would put someone potentially in 6 figures into debt? A house, I'm a believer of renting as long as you can, but a house is one thing you can say, well, it has value and the land it's on could be pretty much important and you can pass it down generations. Okay, go for it. But if I told you I bought a $95,000 vehicle, you'll look at me and go, why? You see, knowledge is power, but when it comes to an art degree, knowledge in art, you have to keep practicing unless you lose it. You can get rusty in accounting, but there are programs that can get you refreshed, right? With art, what's considered state of the art changes so much that if you're not in tune after you graduate, you could be left behind. You can say, here's what I learned back when I was working on a flatbed or Steenbeck editing machine, and you'll be absolutely shocked that everyone edits on computers now, for example. So not only when you have an art degree, it shows a mastery of the principles and foundations, but you still have to keep practicing. So if we're going to film school to practice, don't go, right? Take $50,000 out or $40,000 out or $30,000 out. Put half of that into making the movies, put half of that into enrichment courses online, and you can put together or cobble together something as a proof of concept for your expression, right? So you can say, all right, I'm gonna make a feature on Amazon, and it can be the worst feature ever, but at least you're getting things going. This web series is me talking to a camera, but I'm going for it on a shoestring budget. But let's say you're an intellectual. Let's say you're saying, no. Okay, Flopito, you're being way, way too negative. Film school is great because there's professors from all over the world who has the experience that can share it to me. That's great. 2 things. 1, these professors you really want to learn from are doing things online, whether through masterclass at Udemy or no film school. The information is there. And second of all, the people that actually go to film school are not necessarily the people that you were looking up to. Not saying they're not qualified to teach, but the dream of getting information from Scorsese, he's not coming to SALT education. He's not coming to USC for a whole semester, maybe a drop-in, but he's not doing that. But he has a master class you can download and listen to. And then another way you say, Flopito, okay, fine. It's expensive. The professors, the teachers are not what I want, but I want to be in a community of people like-minded that are working together to make this happen with the knowledge we inspire, which knowledge we instilled. Meetup.com. Technology has replaced anything when it comes to art school. And that's the thing you have to realize. And if you're still saying, despite all of that, I really want a traditional film school education, or very, very valid point. Let's say you come to Southern California and go, hey, look, UCLA and USC have giant alumni networks. I'm going to do my time, work on my thing, work on my craft, and then hopefully use one of the alums to get me a job or get my foot in the door. By all means, go ahead and pay your $90,000, $100,000, $150,000 for a business card, for a business meeting. That's great. I'm telling you from somebody who went through that the risk far outweighs the reward. And I'm not saying don't get your degree, because I have a degree. It's on my wall. In fact, I was so ashamed of it. I kept it in my closet for the longest time. And when my girlfriend moved out, I was like, well, I might as well put it on the wall so it doesn't look like I live in a total prison, right? So it's on my wall now. I'm not knocking anyone who's like, I want a master's degree and here's something I love, I'm going for it. But there's different things, if you take the time to take the work out, where you can have that film school education, the same 2 or 3 years, at a fraction of the cost. Just create, critique, upload it into a place where you know people are going to be mean, and say, do your worst. Tell your friends, hey, look, I don't know actors, but if you know an actor who's working on things, let them be in my movie. Buy some books. And The Blink of the Eye is one of the best editing books I've ever written. That's ever written. How to Write for Late Night Television is a book I recommend as a comedian, but if you want to write comedies, that's how you could do it. On Screenwriting, the big tome, that's how you write your screenplays. You can download resources from Celtic, CLTX.org, the program to write your scripts on. There is no barrier that is in that the internet cannot destroy for you. Right? Go out there and make it happen. And I don't know, I was debating this too on this channel. I was like, well, it'd be kind of cool if I had like a film school cheat sheet kind of series where I talked about things I learned and I give away that information for free. Let me know if you think that's an interesting idea. I just was talking to my friends today, which is the reason why I came up with this episode besides my weekend. Where we're talking about filmmaking at 24 frames versus 30 frames versus 60 frames a second. And I had to clarify what that was. And I was like, wow, that's kind of a cool idea. I don't know if people didn't know that. To me, it's kind of common knowledge. To me, I thought it was like, well, everyone knew that. What can I possibly offer to the grand sphere of things? But if it's something that people are interested in, let me know. I could do more of that as well. And I'm not bitter. By the way, my time in film school was pretty cool. I met some of the friends I have today. I met through film school. I actually hung out with them last week. I learned a lot about the process and about the theory and about critical thinking. I learned about there's always something to be learned in a film, even though you may not like it, even though it could be a cheap Netflix Redbox B movie, you can still learn some things as much as you can, the classics. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying it, you know what it is? It's like going on a diet. It's like going on a diet, and let's say you love cookies and cakes, right? And you decide on my cheat day, I want to have cookies and cakes. That's my payment to myself for being good all week. If you're living a clean lifestyle those 6 days, on that 7th day, those cookies have to be on point. Because if you ever had a bad cookie, you'll say something like, that was good, but it's not worth the calories, right? Film school is great. As someone now in my mid-30s, dealing with the debt, dealing with the stigma of not trying to find work in my field, it's not worth the investment. In fact, I'm pretty sure that film making or film school will never have a return on investment. I'm still paying like loans. The school still calls me up for donations. This is why I'm being adamant with this. But when I went there, it was fun. For 3 years to make some friends, to be accustomed to California, to get some of that thick skin of living on my own so far away from my family, even further away from my years in Florida. It was great. That is not enough for me to recommend it to somebody else. So think about it. Film school, bah humbug. And I promise this show is all positive. It's all positive upsides. What's up, Flobo? Just me chilling. I'm not getting on a soapbox. I'm just hanging out, rapping with you guys. I just figured last weekend, streaming a 4-hour event on Sunday out of my living room, and then on Friday helping out my friend on red carpets where I got to shake hands with Kathleen Gifford and Master P. I was like, hey, man, there is no barriers, man. Don't try to go to a giant monolithic school just because it sounds cool, or don't go because you want to say, I went to film school, I went to grad school, because no one really cares about that in parties. This is What's Up, Flobo, episode 23, Film School, bah humbug. Thank you so much for checking out this episode and all the other episodes on the YouTube channel. Like, comment, subscribe, tell a friend about the stream. Please share the show. I need 1,000 subscribers. I need them. I need all the subscribers I can get. Until next time, probably tomorrow, probably the day after. I'll be right back. Thank you so much for checking out the stream, and follow me at flobito.com.